Sith Talkers in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to Sith Talkers, a Star Wars podcast. I'm your host, Mike Lando. Welcome to episode 50, Corona, the Star Wars virus. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Sith Talkers. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. What a week, what a week, what a week, what a week. So, alright, Sith Talkers. Really quickly right here. So, as you can see, it's just Lando this week. Corona Steve, he actually had a procedure done yesterday, so he cannot have any more children. And look, he's got number 6 on the way, who's going to be arriving shortly. So yeah, so that's what's happened with Corona Steve. He does not have the coronavirus. So he is all good. He's recovering, from his little procedure that was done yesterday. So get well soon, Corona Steve. And he will definitely be back next week. And I'm going to call him Corona Steve because he swindled me last week with Who Does It Better with the Christopher Walken impression. We were supposed to do George Lucas, and he threw in a curveball and did Christopher Walken. He already knows how to do Christopher Walken. So, yeah. So next week, when Steve's back, it'll be regular scheduled programming, and we will do our segments and whatnot. This week, I figured we would just have a nice little short podcast with Lando. I just want to talk about a few things, and that's it. And just kind of wrap it up. I want to talk about Kylo Ren. We got some big news with Kylo Ren this week in the comics. The fourth and the last Kylo Ren comic came out there with that story arc. And I wanted to share some Kylo Ren information because that is my favorite character. And we got some information. I would just want to talk about Snoke, kind of stemming from last week with the novelization from Palpatine, being a clone. So I just want to talk about Snoke a little bit, how it kind of all ties in. And I will do a quick spoiler review of the newest Clone Wars episode, Unfinished Business, near the end here. And so that's what Lando wants to talk about this week. So yeah. So let's get started. Let's get started with Kylo Ren. So, Sith Talkers, everybody knows that Kylo Ren is my favorite Star Wars character of the new trilogy. Because everybody knows Luke is my favorite. But of the new trilogy, Kylo Ren by far is my favorite and a lot of people's favorites. And these comic books, I don't know if anybody has checked them out or has researched like the storyline, with the comic books. It's just backstory on, how Ben becomes Kylo. And this 4th issue that just dropped this week, like I said, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. This is how he becomes Kylo, and this is how he gets his red lightsaber, which is super cool. So, in the comic, he ends up, like I said, if you don't know, he meets the Knights of Ren, and they already have a leader. And in this comic, like I said, I'm not going to go into super duper detail, but I just wanted to highlight some of the things that happen. He kills the leader of the Knights of Ren, and he becomes the leader of the Knights of Ren. They all kneel to him, bow to him. So, yeah, he runs through the leader with his blue lightsaber. So, interestingly here, that if you guys haven't read the comic or don't know, Ben's hilt for his lightsaber, his original blue lightsaber, it is the same hilt he has as Kylo Ren, which is interesting, which is cool. I really like, that hilt, and I really like Kylo's lightsaber. But so after he defeats the leader of the Knights of Ren, he is like filled with like dark side and anger, and he actually bleeds. He actually takes his blue lightsaber crystal and he bleeds it red. And that is how it becomes unstable, the energy. And there's actually a shot in the comic of him, of like lightsaber parts, and him constructing his lightsaber, and him putting the vents, the crossguard, on his hilt that he already has. And then hence, you have an unstable red energy, and he put the vents, the hilts on there to vent more energy out because of the crystal being unstable after he bled it. And like I said, there's a shot in the comic of him like squeezing the crystal and bleeding the crystal. And the most important thing, there is a shot, and it's a close-up shot of Kylo Ren's eyes, and they are Sith yellow in the comic. So, and I immediately, I took a screenshot of it and I texted it over to Corona Steve, and I was just like, see, Ben, when he turned into Kylo, he had Sith eyes. So officially, Kylo has had the Sith eyes, and he's had so much anger and dark side in him that he wasn't always so torn. Because right in The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, he's always torn between light and dark and eventually ends up going to the light. But in this comic, man, like I said, after he leaves the temple, he is just filled with anger, and he is dark side, it seems like, almost 100% through and through. You got to have that power to be able to bleed a lightsaber crystal from blue to red. So, and like I said, his eyes like turned yellow. So cool. So Sith Talkers, check it out. Like I said, if you haven't checked it out, you can find, I'm sure you can find the pictures online, and you can see his like yellow Sith eyes, which is like super, it makes me extremely happy. So what do you think? So what do you guys think, Sith Talkers? What do you guys think about that? He bleeds his crystal. He's got the Sith eyes. What do you think about the Kylo Ren backstory? I think it's pretty cool. What do you guys think? So let me know if you're on YouTube in the comments below. And if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe to Sith Talkers. It's just Lando this week. Usually it's Lando and Steve, my real life brother. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the videos, and hit the bell notification. And then you'll know when the new episodes drop every week. But yeah, and then all the audio listeners on Apple Podcast, on Stitcher, on Spotify, leave me your comments on social media, on Instagram, on the Twitter, on Facebook, and shoot me an email, sithtalkers@gmail.com. It's all at Sithtalkers. All right, so there you guys go. Little Kylo Ren, like I said, made Lando, man, extremely happy. Extremely happy. Well, you know what? Before I move on, Kylo Ren is Lando's favorite new trilogy character. Sith Talkers, what's your favorite new character from the new trilogy? Is it Kylo? Is it Rey? Is it Hux? Is it Captain Phasma? Finn? Right? Could be Finn. Poe? Maz? Probably Haldo. She'll probably be on that list somewhere too. Right? So let me know, Sith Talkers, in the comments, on social media, comments down below on YouTube. So yeah, let me know who your favorite new trilogy character is. So yeah, there you go. I'm pretty interested. I like to hear people's, opinions about stuff like that. But all right. So from Kylo, right, I guess now to Snoke. So, like I said, just some more information with Snoke and from the novelization of The Rise of Skywalker. So we find out finally who Snoke is and how he came about from the novelization. Snoke is a genetic mutation. And so, right, all the Sith Eternals, all the Emperor's like minions. So remember, in Return of the Jedi, Palpatine's essence leaves his body at the last second of impact going down the shaft and goes to Exegol, where all his Sith Eternals are trying to, come up with the perfect host for Palpatine. And by doing that, they've been splicing genes and trying mutations and just doing everything and anything they can to find a perfect host. Which, once again, like I said, the Emperor had this contingency plan already in place in Return of the Jedi. He knew Vader, Anakin, would turn on him, possibly, and he had this plan all set up. So when it comes to Snoke was from spliced genes and was able to hold the Force. And like I said, I guess like Palpatine was able to manipulate the Force through Snoke. So once again, in a roundabout way, Snoke is in fact Palpatine and basically controlling Palpatine. So that actually kind of rolls over back into Kylo Ren. The Emperor knew that Ben, he actually tested him. So that's what The Last Jedi was when, Snoke was just like, you will strike down your true enemy, and Ben kills Snoke in The Last Jedi. That was actually a test from the Emperor, and if he passed the test, that would give him a green light to say, okay, now it's time for Ben to meet me and to see what all's going on here with me. To offer him my big Sith empire, that's an Exegol and all this jazz. So it's just like Snoke is Palpatine in a roundabout way, and that's just it. I mean, just from mutation, spliced genes with all the Sith Eternal. It's just like, once again, it's just like, just with the storyline is, and obviously when the trilogy started with The Force Awakens, we didn't know this is how it's going to, hell, even with The Last Jedi, right? Because we didn't know this is how it was going to turn out with Snoke. But, with the novelization, now getting all this information. Well, there you go. It's all part of Palpatine's, Sith Eternals and splicing genes, mutations, Sith magic, dark magic. It's Palpatine. Like I said, we start with Palpatine in episode 1. We end with Palpatine in episode 9, which, okay, like I said, does, make, I guess, bookend the 9-movie trilogy. But, I just, which, like I said, Lando, doesn't mind, because I love all the movies. But, I mean, just the more information we get, just kind of the more just like little agitated I get with everything. It's like, how come Snoke has to be Palpatine or like has anything to do with Palpatine? I don't know. It's just like, right. It's just like, how come he can't be his own thing? Or maybe he came from the unknown region somewhere and right. And I don't know. And he masked himself from Palpatine or he, wanted to do what Palpatine wanted to do. Right. I don't know. But, this is what we got. And we just keep getting more and more information. I don't know. Do they need to stop? Do they need to stop explaining things? I'm just like, I want things explained, but like, I think right now I'm to the point where it's just like, man, I guess I don't want any more explanation. Clone Palp, and the failed attempt, his son's a failed clone. who didn't have the Force and couldn't embody the Force. Palpatine couldn't look at him and didn't want anything to do with him. And I guess like in the book, the clone really didn't look like Palpatine all the way, and yada 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 yada. Like I said, I don't want to go back in the last week's episode, but you know, it is what it is. Well, I mean, what do you guys think, Sith Talkers? I mean, what do you guys think about Snoke and this whole, you know, fiasco? Are you guys good with it? You guys okay with it? Yay or nay? You right? You guys good with Snoke just being genetic mutation from Palpatine? Palpatine controlling Snoke. Snoke is Palpatine, basically. Or, you know, would you guys rather had something else? Or, I don't know, Snoke ended up being the bad guy, or, you know, where's Plagueis, or I don't know, right? I don't know, Sith Talkers. Like I said, we go round and round about this, but like just the more information we get, the more I'm scratching my head. So, all right. So what do you guys think? Leave your comments below on all the social media platforms. Let me know. Let me know what you think of Kylo. Let me know what you think about Snoke. All right, Sith Talkers. On to the last topic of today. I'm going to go over the newest Clone Wars episode. So, unfinished business. So, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. This whole episode's been a big spoiler alert. So, here we go. The Clone Wars, unfinished business. This is the last episode of the Bad Batch story arc. Just right off the bat, I loved this story arc. I loved... you know, this entire story arc, but I am ready to move on from it and get some new, and get some new story, and hopefully with some new, you know, like Ahsoka and Darth Maul, right? Because we saw Darth Maul, and we need to get closer to Revenge of the Sith. But this last episode was basically all about getting a Nexus back, and with the help of the Bad Batch and Tech. Like I said, Tech was like the big crucial key to this entire episode. Was not Tech, Echo. No, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, Tech did help Echo during the episode, but I'm thinking of I got the Bad Batch on my mind. It was Echo, the clone that they saved from last week's episode. So basically, Echo helps the Bad Batch with Anakin. So they go there. Echo, he's got like his robotic arm, which has like a thing on the end of it, like R2, where he can like plug into the system and he can see everything that's going on with the system. And obviously you have like Trench, right? The bad guy, the insect guy. He's in there. He's looking at algorithms and this and that. And you know, he's doing his strategy with that, but like, Echo is finding out everything so they can successfully do the mission. And then, by the way, you have Mace and Obi-Wan, which is cool because we got Mace and Obi-Wan in this episode. Because pretty much the first 3 episodes have been like the clones, the Bad Batch, and Anakin. It's pretty much all we've had. So we got Mace and Obi-Wan on this mission, and they were kind of like, you know, separated from the Bad Batch and Anakin. And they had the clone troops with them, which was super cool. Mace gave like some like speech about how he's destroyed so many battle droids and stuff. And the battle droids like, blast him. But it was super funny. You get that kind of Clone War banter, you know. And then you got to see Mace and Obi-Wan, you know, just action, fight some battle droids. So the bad guy, Trench, when he finds out like kind of like what's going on, he has a backup plan. His backup plan is to fucking destroy the whole fucking place. And then they find that out because Echo is still programmed in, but, you know, they're doing a trace on Echo. And, you know, they trace him. And that's where it gets good because then you get some action with the Bad Batch. But like, so now there's bombs. And then Mace goes down there and they got ray shields behind the bomb. And he can get the code. Like I said, Echo's getting all the numbers and Mace is using the Force to put the code in behind the ray shield, which is super cool. But of course, they get to the last number. That's when they get spotted and traced, and they need to get the last number. So of course, Anakin, he's going to go visit Trench, which we'll get to that. And then the Bad Batch and they go off, and that's when Wrecker gets like really, really happy because then he can like fuck up some like battle droids and stuff. But let's go to really fast. Echo. All the battle droids are fighting Mace and Obi-Wan, and he had a plan to get all the battle droids over to them. Because so even Trent sent more battle droids over to where Obi and Anakin, they get surrounded. And Echo did this thing where he like disabled, like, electrocuted a whole bunch of them. It was pretty cool. Okay, anyways, I really want to get to Anakin because this was basically the juice. The juice is the Bad Batch and Echo, but like this is huge. So Anakin finds Trench, kills the droid that's with him, has his lightsaber up to his throat, and Trench is just, hey, you're a Jedi, you wouldn't kill me. And Anakin's like, hey, don't test me. And you can see the anger in him. He ends up getting the last number code for so they can get the disable the bomb or whatever, so they save a Nexus. But what's cool is Trench stuns Anakin. Big mistake, buddy. Because Anakin runs him through with his lightsaber, which was super cool. Like, because it's just, once again, you just get this more character development, and you see the anger in him just building and building and building him and becoming Darth Vader. And it's just always really nice to get this character development, seeing the anger that's still in him and the unorthodox way he still does things, and he kills people, right? And he kills Trent, he kills fucking Dooku, and it's not the Jedi way. And so once again, I loved that moment in the episode. I mean, Anakin killing Trench, loved it. So after that, so basically, they're escaping the ship, and Wrecker like rhinos his way through a bunch of like battle droids. He's real happy, he gets to like fuck shit up. What was really cool is Crosshair from the Bad Batch. Wrecker's just like, oh, you're gonna show me up. He put these like these like circle magnetic plate things along, in the ship, and then he shot one of them, and the blaster bolts like reflected back and forth, killing like all the battle droids, and it was super cool. Like I said, you just got some nice banter with the Bad Batch, and and you got to see them in action, which was super cool. And then Anakin actually got the trigger, like the bomb stuff, from Trench, and he gives it to Wrecker, and Wrecker's like super, super like happy. He gets to hit the bomb trigger, and it destroys like all the ships, all the droid ships and everything. So it was super cool. And then at the end of the episode, they want to give the Bad Batch like, medals and rewards to reward them for their heroic effort to help them save a Nexus. And, the Bad Batch are like, hey man, this isn't our thing. We're not all about medals and honors and all this stuff. And they're going to take off. And before they take off, I said, Rex is with Echo, and Rex turns to Echo and says, hey man, I think you really don't belong with us. You probably have a family with them. And he walks a little bit, and he turns around, and Echo actually goes and joins the Bad Batch. I mean, that, like I said, that basically sums up a lot of the big story arc with this, was like rescuing Echo. They find Echo, they get Echo, he's been tampered with, and he's, he ends up joining the Bad Batch, which is just super cool. And, they all salute at the end of the episode, and there you go. And like I said, a Nexus is saved, the Republic has it, for the Clone Wars, everything's good to go. Good to go at the end of the episode. So, and like I said, story arc wrapped up, and let's get on to Ahsoka, Darth Maul. Let's get on to some more juicier. But like I said, I really, really loved the story arc. Got a lot of Clone Wars stuff, Bad Batch stuff, and you got some more Anakin stuff in there, which I really, really loved. So what'd you guys think, Sith Talkers? What do you guys think of the new episode of the Clone Wars? You digging the Clone Wars so far? Do you like the Bad Batch story arc? Let me know. Leave your comments below on YouTube, on all the social media platforms, for all the audio listeners. All right, Sith Talkers. Well, this has been episode 50. I said little Kylo, little Snoke, little Clone Wars, And thank you so much for hanging out with Lando and just Lando this week. Corona Steve will be back next week, and we'll do all of our segments next week. Who does it better, and movie quotes with Jar Jar, which movie quotes with Jar Jar, the answer from last week, it was pretty easy. It was the Fellowship of the Rings from Lord of the Rings. So, there you guys go. Oh, you know what? I'll go through the questions really quickly here. From last week's episode, the questions I asked. So, I asked last week, what'd you think about clone Sheev Palpatine being a clone? And a majority, 50%, said Kylo should have been the big bad and not clone Palpatine. So there you go, man. A little bit into the duel fates, right? Where Kylo would have been the big bad. So there you go. Who does it better? Here we go. Christopher Walken. Lando, 33%. Clone Steve, 66%. So, brava. Corona Steve swindled that one. So it's 2-1. Still Lando's up. And we will be doing George Lucas next week when Corona Steve comes back. George Lucas. Who does it better? All right. So dick time with Lando last week. Who has the bigger dick? It was Clone Snoke, Clone Palps, or Clone Steve. Look, Sith Talkers. 50% for Clone Steve. So we take him out of the equation, and you put it between Snoke and Palps. Palps did get 33%. So there you go. Clone Steve. All right, this was my favorite question from last week. Which Bad Batch clone would Steve be, and which Bad Batch clone would Lando be? So 50% wrecker for Clone Steve. That's who everybody voted. And a big whopping 83% for Lando, Tech. Right, and I pretty much guessed that. So yeah, so there you go. Those were, like I said, those were kind of like the questions I asked last week. Pretty cool. Like I said, thanks everybody for, like I said, I put little circles up here every week and ask you questions. Thanks for answering them and, interacting with us every week. So, all right. Like once again, Sith Talkers, thanks so much for hanging out with Lando this week. I really appreciate it. Like I said, a little short episode here. Just, like I said, talking about a few things. And, if you like what you see, you like what you're getting, subscribe here on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. Give me a nice thumbs up for the video this week. And hit the bell notification. And, just like from episode 1, that's happened every time you get notified during the pod race. So, and thank you for all the audio listeners, as always, on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, on Sticher, all the podcast platforms. If you want to reach out to Sith Talkers, hit me up at Sith Talkers on Instagram, on the Twitter, on Facebook. Shoot me an email, sithtalkers@gmail.com. All right, Sith Talkers, that's all I got this week. This has been episode 50. A little bit of Kylo, a little bit of Snoke, a little bit of Clone Wars. And I've been your host this week, Mike Ferrando. And may the Force be with you, Sith Talkers. Always. All right, Sith Talkers. Yeah, a little short episode this week. But hey, you know what? The digital download is coming out on Tuesday for The Rise of Skywalker. Then the physical copies will be out in a few weeks. Till the Enders, made it till the end here with Lando. Which physical copy are you buying? Because there's Targets and Walmarts, Best Buy's got their own. Like I said, a little bit different with every physical Rise of Skywalker copy that you're getting. So, Sith Talkers, which one are you getting? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below. In the comments. Lando is getting the Target exclusive. I pre-ordered mine eons ago, and yeah, I think back in December I pre-ordered it. But yep, I'm getting the Target. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it, here at home, which would be nice. Be able to watch the movie over and over and over again. So pretty psyched about that. So yeah, pretty psyched for my Yoda Baby Yoda merch. Finally going to be coming here in the next few months. Can't wait for that. But, all right, Sith Talkers. On that note, have a good week. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And I am out. See ya. I could do a little dance for you guys here at the end Say hi to all the Sith Talkers.
Hello there.
Here's Prue. Yes, there's Prue. There's Prue. There's Prue. Let's start the podcast with Prue. All right, let's do this. You ready, Prue? You ready? I guess not.